Hi everybody, this is the baseball highlight, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion, your host, HUD, and welcome back to the Baseball HUD 2. Hope you like this video and hit that subscribe button. We're going to talk about the upcoming free agency that's going to hit. It happens every year. God willing, we'll get there and got another month to go. This is from CBS Sports. Headline, ranking the top 20 MLB free agents the 24-25 offseason. Juan Soto, Corbin Burnes, Alex Bregman, and more. Barely a month left of the regular season. It's time to start thinking about free agency. Major League Baseball's regular season is entering its final month. In a matter of weeks, most of the league's front offices will shift their attention toward the future by beginning to plot out their offseason strategies. We're not ready to do that just yet. There are still playoff races to be decided, pennants to be earned, but we understand that for a lot of the reading audience, it's time to look forward. With that in mind, that day at CBS Sports, they go through that and they rank the top 50. So they just modify this to go to the top 20. Number one on this list, Juan Soto of the New York Yankees outfield. Did you expect someone else? Soto will enter the market as a 26-year-old, riding a Hall of Fame trajectory. Players who fit that description seldom become free agents. When they do, they get top billing. Soto will be coming off another impressive effort as he's likely to finish the season with 40-plus home runs and more walks and strikeouts. He's as reliable an offensive force as there is in the majors, having never posted an OPS plus below 140. That despite debuting as a teenager. In an ideal world, he'd be better than a scratch defender. Let's be serious, if Soto's glove has a team shine away from him, they were never going to be a serious bidder anyway. He's going to get paid and paid something fierce this winter. He deserves it. Two main teams, the Mets and the Yankees. They will be going hard after him. No doubt about it. That's who he'll go to, either the Mets or the New York Yankees. Next up, right-handed pitcher from the Orioles, Corbin Burnes. Burnes has discovered as of late, turning poor starts against several potential playoff foes, including the Astros, Guardians, and Red Sox. We're not too worried about that. The more interesting, potentially ominous development we have our eyes on concerns declining effectiveness of his cutter. Opponents at both their best average and highest contact rate versus it since he made his primary pitch in 2021. It explains why Burnes' strikeout rate has slipped for a fourth consecutive season, making him more dependent on managing contact. Burnes is still an above-average starter with a great track record. Don't get us wrong, but the above trend is something that teams will have to assess before handing him a long-term deal this winter. Teams on him will be the Mets, Cubs, the Dodgers, possibly the Yankees, the Orioles, and maybe the Red Sox. Next up, Alex Bregman, third baseman for the Houston Astros. It'll be interesting to see how teams value Bregman. He's far enough removed from his best slugging years that we assume they'll value him for what he is, a skilled contact and on-base merchant, a good glove and the ability to hit around 20 homers. Adding to the intrigue is the fact that he's had an odd season, hitting the ball hard more frequently than normal, also walking far less often, and having to fight uphill after a poor start. I would expect the Giants. I'd expect the Yankees, believe it or not. Possibly the Cubs. Possibly the Mets, although I don't see that so much with Vientos here and things up in the air with Pete Alonso. I don't see that happening. Next up is Max Fried, left-handed pitcher from the Braves. It's hard for a player to fly on the radar when they have Fried's track record, but he seems to manage. He's a two-time All-Star and a three-time Gold Glove winner. Yet he feels overlooked probably because of his overload limitations. He started more than 30 games just twice, and he's averaged more than 6 innings per pop in a season once. Fortunately for him, he's pitching in an era where teams are at greater ease with such numbers. In turn, we suspect he's going to feel very comfortable with the figures he gets this winter. Expect the Mets, the Giants, the Dodgers, the Cubs, possibly the Blue Jays, the Yankees will be on him. I would believe that would be the case. I don't see him going back to the Braves. The Braves are cheap. They don't spend a lot of money on free agents. They may seem like it, but they don't. Number 5 and 6 on this list from the San Francisco Giants. Left-handed pitcher Blake Snell, and third baseman Matt Chapman. Now, I'm not going to read you this, but I believe that Matt Chapman will probably resign. Rumors that he's going to resign with the Giants. And there are going to be plenty of teams on Blake Snell. He's pitched really well since he came back from the little injury that he had to start the season. I believe the Mets will be in on him, the Padres, the Yankees. He'll get a better contract this time around than he did really this past time. And that's why I see him going. And he's going to get good money. He's going to get a longer contract than what he got this year. That's for sure. Next up from the Milwaukee Brewers, shortstop Willie Adames. Now I don't believe he's going to re-sign with the Brewers. I see a team in on him. I believe that the Dodgers will be in on him primarily because Dodgers don't really have a shortstop. And he's a professional shortstop, a very good defensive player. He has power. I think he's the perfect fit for the Dodgers at this point. Hyun-Sung Kim, I believe that he could go, and he's from the Padres, shortstop. Either he'll resign with the Padres, or I can certainly see the Dodgers making a play for him. Another guy that is a professional shortstop, and has a very good chance to get a very good contract with some team. He's a very good player. Next up from the New York Mets, Pete Alonso, first base. Alonso is going to be somewhat of a polarizing free agent. There's no denying his elite strength or his impressive track record of above-average hitting. That's the extent of his game. However, and it doesn't help that he's a right first baseman nearing his age 30 season. Trends tend to consider that profile fungible unless it's attached to a generational bat like a Miguel Cabrera or Albert Pujols. We don't believe front offices view him as being on that level. As such, if we had to guess, Alonso's deal will probably slot in around the Paul Goldschmidt contract, 5 years and $130 million. Now, I've said that I don't believe he'll be back with the Mets, but I can certainly see him re-signing with the Mets, even though the chances of that happening is starting to decrease. I believe that the Cubs will be on him. I believe the Yankees will be on him. I believe that possibly the Arizona Diamondbacks, possibly the Mariners. You see quite a few teams in on him. Jack Flaherty, right-handed pitcher from the Dodgers. I don't see him going anywhere but the Dodgers. The rumor was that his agency pressured the Tigers to trade him, which was CAA. They pressured him. They pressured the Tigers to trade him to Los Angeles, and I think he will sign a contract with them. Anthony Santander, outfielder of the Orioles. He's going to have a lot of teams in on him. I see the Mets in on him for a daddy switcher. Big power hitters, you know. The Brewers, certainly the Mariners, possibly the Yankees if they lose Soto. Certainly, I could see him going to the Cubs. They could use some offensive pop next year for their team. Certainly, that's who I see possibly signing Santander. Max Scherzer. How do you make this list? He's with the Rangers. He has told reports he intends to pitch on into his age 40 season despite dealing with various injuries over the last year. Stay away from him. Shane Bieber. Now, he's coming off a surgery. Who knows where he's going to sign? Nathan Eovaldi. Some team that is close to winning will want him. I can see the Mets in play. I can see the Yankees in play. I can see the Dodgers in play. Any team that feels that they're close, that needs a guy that can pitch in a big spot, possibly go back to the Red Sox, the Cubs, the Mariners. Teoscar Hernandez, he's next on this list. Let's see where he's going to go. He's with the Dodgers. I can see him resigning with the Dodgers. See him going anywhere, really. Back to Seattle. The Cubs. That's what I see. Christian Walker. Let's see. I could see the Cardinals with him. I would see Alonso with the Cardinals, too, before I forget. I've heard that. Possibly re-signing with the Diamondbacks. It's the signing with the Mets with Christian Walker. I can certainly see that. Clay Holmes. Clay Holmes, boy. One of the most overrated closers in baseball. He's from the New York Yankees. He can go just about anywhere at this rate. Could re-sign with the Yankees. This guy could wind up anywhere. That's for sure. Here we have a couple of Mets. Luis Severino. Severino has rebounded from a disastrous showing last year, but becoming a different pitcher than the one he was early in his career. His fastball sinker sweeper now, not fastball slider change, and he's traded in strikeouts for more controlled contact. It's worked for him so far. Interesting. It's interesting to see some team will pony up with a multi-year deal. Now I know he'd like to resign with a New York team, but if the Mets were to resign him, sign to a 1-year deal with a option. That's how I would do, because he's had so many injuries in his career. Sean Manaea, who's pitched great, by the way, left-handed pitcher. Manaea's full season return to the rotations worked out well enough, and he has 10 wins. The sweeper he harnessed last year has made the difference, giving him a pitch that's effective at both missing bats and barrels. The Mets even let him stretch his legs since the start of July, with him recording 7 or more innings in 6 of his last 10 tries. He's been terrific. I could see him re-signing with the Mets. I could see teams lining up for him. The Dodgers, the Cubs, the Rangers, the Blue Jays, the Yankees. I think he'll be the guy that will probably re-sign with the Mets. And finally, Yusei Kikuchi on this list. Kikuchi has long been an enigma with better stuff than results. The tweaks he made since joining the Astros, more ball on his curveball in favor of more sliders and changes, have his arrow pointing up. We'll see if it stays that way. Who knows? Who knows where he's going to go? To be honest with you, who knows at this rate? Well, you let me know what you think about this video. And of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.